Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. You know how we love our Mexican food. Today we're going to cook what is called the pride of the Yucatan Peninsula, and that is Cochinita Pibil. So what the hell is that? Well, Cochinita means baby pig. Now, we aren't going to do a suckling pig. We're going to do this with pork shoulder, and that's how it is done a lot. Also, the pibil is referencing an earthen oven. Well, we don't have an earthen oven, but we do have a way to make this that ends up very close to the traditional way. So, let's get started. First step, if you read the recipe, it talks about getting 2 heads of garlic, breaking the cloves apart, and doing this next step. Well, when I sent the girls out for garlic, they came back with elephant garlic. And I've cooked with elephant garlic before, but this is the biggest freaking bulb that I have ever seen, or clove. So we're going to use 2 of these ginormous things. Now, we do love our garlic. That's a hell of a lot of garlic, though. I've got a skillet behind me on medium-high heat. What I'm going to do is put these garlic cloves into it, and we're going to basically char them for about 8 to 12 minutes. They're going to be black on all sides, but that's fine. The garlic on the inside is going to be softened up. So step number 1, char your garlic. So every once in a while, we're going to jiggle that skillet and get that garlic moved around so it isn't sitting in the same spot. But yeah, that's what we're doing for the next 10 minutes. We'll see you when that's done. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. We're going to get a garlic, and we're going to go ahead and put those in a bowl so they can cool. Now, if necessary at this point, take a paper towel and wipe your pan out. But as you can see, we're good to go. So we're going to put that back on there. Now we're going to add our oil. Down in the description, which all of the amounts and ingredients are there, along with the instructions, it says use vegetable oil. And that's great if that's what you have. What we have here is achiote or annatto infused oil, which is going to go perfect with this. That's what we're using instead. So we're going to put this in here and let that go till it starts to shimmer. And it's not going to take very long because that pan's already hot. And then is going to go in our annatto seeds, our allspice berries, our peppercorns, our cumin seeds, our cloves, and our cinnamon. And we're going to toast those for a little bit. Oh, and I forgot the oregano. So we're going to let that go for about 30 seconds. We're going to chuck this in there, cover it, and let it go for about 30 seconds. Got it in there every few seconds. You give it a little shake. Let that go. All right, we're there. Now we're going to take that off the heat. And then we're going to transfer that mix to our trusty blender. Now we're going to peel our garlic and add that also. To that we're going to add a 1/4 cup of orange juice and a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. All right, and then we add the orange juice and the apple cider vinegar to our blender. And then we're going to add about a teaspoon of liquid smoke. Last thing that goes in is a tablespoon of salt, and then we mix it. All right, with all those seeds in there, you're bound to have to scrape it down at least once or twice. So we're going to do that. Oh God, that smells incredible. The cloves, the annatto seeds, the garlic. Oh my God. Okay, so if the paste gets so thick that it's not mixing for you, don't be afraid to add a couple tablespoons of water to it. And that's exactly what we're doing. All right, now we have this fantastic paste. So we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of it, and we're going to apply that to our 2 pieces of pork shoulder that we have cut up. I highly suggest, if you are not a very incredibly neat cook, do not wear white when you do this, because this stuff will turn your clothes red in a heartbeat. So let's get our 1/4 cup out. Right about there. The rest of it we're going to reserve. Also, if you're pale of skin, or would be embarrassed by having very red hands, use gloves for this part. Now we're not done with that paste. We have some more steps with it. But with this 1/4 cup here, we're going to coat the outside of our pork shoulder. Get it rubbed all over the outside of this. Okay, my 2 pieces have turned into 3. But don't worry about trussing them or anything like that. It'll be just fine. Now we're going to take these and a few onions sliced about 1 inch thick out to the grill, and I'm just going to get a char on the outside of it, about 2 minutes per side. Then we're going to bring that back in. I'm not taking the cameras out there. It's very dark out there. You won't see anything. Trust me. Get your grill going. Get them charred on each side for about 2 minutes each. We'll see you after that. All right, we're back from the grill, and I'll tell you what. Tonight nothing's gone easy. I am not on my A game tonight. When I mentioned the oil before, the annatto infused oil, I don't even know if you can buy it, to tell you the truth, but you can certainly make it, and we did it in an earlier video, which you can see here. All right, with that out of the way, I'm going to put my charred pork into 2 different gallon-sized vacuum seal bags. You can certainly do this with Ziploc bags, and that's how the instructions are written, because not everybody has a vacuum sealer. We make our own sausages, we make our own hamburger, we make our own bacon, so definitely we have a need to have a vacuum sealer, but not everybody does. So the instructions for that are down below in the description. Now, you're thinking instructions for putting things in a bag? Just stay with me. Stay with me. You'll see the reason in a second. All right, so half the meat in one bag, the remaining half in the other. Now, we've got these onions. They are going back in the blender with the remaining paste. All right, that yielded just about 2 cups. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a cup of this into each one of our 2 bags. And use a spatula and get as much of that goodness as you can into that bag. Don't waste this gold. Now I'm going to get those sealed up and we'll move on to the next step. All right, now we're going to take our bags, put it in our badass sous vide kit here. So if you're using Ziploc bags, it's different. If you're using Ziploc bags, you want the water in first. Then as you lower those bags into the water, make sure they're open a little bit. The water is going to push the air out. Once you have the majority of the air pushed out, then go ahead and get those sealed. If you're using those Ziplocs, make sure that the Ziploc bag is tucked up over the side of your sous vide container so water doesn't get in. Now these are vacuum sealed, so I'm not worried about water getting in. And I didn't need to put the water in first. I put the meat in first so I could tell how much water I needed. Now that the bags are in, I'm going to go ahead and pour enough water in there to make sure it's covered. Now, why would I stick it in a pot first and not just take it over the sink and fill it? Because Arizona has incredibly hard water, and I don't want to ruin my sous vide machine, so this is from my RO system. Now, if you don't have an RO system and you do have hard water, using distilled water will work. Why is the cat eating my shoes? Anyway, okay, so I'm going to verify, yes, all of the meat is fully submerged. Now, we're going to turn on our sous vide machine. And in my case, I'm using a Joule here. Now, we've done earlier episodes where we've shown you that the newest version of the Ninja Foodie with the smart lid can do sous vide. But this is more than it can handle, so I had to use the Joule for this one. All right, so Joule, we are connected. We're going to run that at 155 degrees for 24 hours. And there we go. So 24 hours from now, we're going to have some incredible, succulent, tender Cochinita Pibil. We'll see you then. All right, so our Cochinita Pibil has been cooking for about 23 hours, and it's almost time to serve it. But I got to tell you, yesterday for me was a very rough day, rougher than the cat had that you hear meowing like crazy right now. So after I got the meat sealed and put into the tub, I was walking out of the kitchen after I'd put all my cameras away. That's when I saw the banana leaves. So I was going to make this the day before, but we didn't have any banana leaves. And then I had to go to 5 different stores until I found those banana leaves. Now, it's a very important constituent for the Cochinita Pibil because the way it's cooked traditionally, we made that achiote paste. The achiote paste gets put on the meat, then it gets wrapped in banana leaves, and then it's cooked in the earthen oven. So I wanted to get the flavor as close to how the Mayans and the Yucatan Peninsula would do it. So I had to stop the sous vide, open the bags up, stuff the banana leaves in. Now, as I said, it took me about 5 stores to find it, but if you go to a very large grocery store or you go to a large Mexican grocery store, they are kept in the freezer area. All right, let's do it. Well, because one of my three cameras is my iPhone, I can't turn off the sous vide, so we'll just grab the bag out of the 155-degree water and move along smartly. Alrighty. So banana leaf is in the way. I'm going to push that aside. We're going to grab the meat and get that into our serving dish here. Also, what I forgot to add last night was the 4 bay leaves to each bag. There's the banana leaves, 8 ounces worth. The bay leaf should be inside of there if everything worked right. Get our pork over here. And then we're going to add those juices back to it. And then we're going to get that pork shredded up, and then we're going to make some tacos. So normally, if you're making shredded pork or pulled pork, you take it to 203 degrees. Well, that's the magic of the sous vide. We cooked at 155 degrees, but we did it for 24 hours. And it has this just as tender as if it was on the grill, slow cooking for a very long time, up to 203 degrees. And this way, you can't possibly burn it or dry it out, because all the juices are retained in that bag. All right, as Gabby's making a beautiful taco, if you're liking what you're seeing, then hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Never miss an episode. Hit that bell and be notified when we have them. And definitely leave comments. What is your favorite type of tacos? Have you ever had Cochinita Pibil? Do you have any idea how long it took me to be able to pronounce Cochinita Pibil? I'm just going to say Cochinita Pibil because I have finally mastered it. Alrighty, go for it.
Okay.
All right, now for the moment of truth. Let's find out how we did.
That's amazing.
Fantastic. We have the Gabby seal of approval. So, give this a try. It was easy. It cooked for 23 hours, but we weren't doing stuff the whole 23 hours, so it's not really as hard as it looks. That's what she said. Okay, hey, until next time, fair winds and following seas.